Tim Naftali is a presidential historian, joins us now from Montreal. Tim, wow, can you put this in some historical context? How would you begin to describe this moment?
You know, every so often, something happens in history that hasn't happened before. And it's important to take a deep breath and consider that we are watching new developments and changes in a very important country in the world. There have been presidents before who have decided not to run for re-election when they had a chance to do so, but this is the first time that a president has announced that he won't be running for re-election when it wasn't what he really wanted to say, and at a time that was not of his choosing, and with only a few weeks to go before the nominating convention where he was supposed to be the nominee. So this is unprecedented in American history.
If this is right, please tell me if I've got this wrong. Will this really be the first presidential election since 1976 to not have a Biden, a Bush, or a Clinton on the ticket? And is there anything in history that gives us some guidance here?
Well, we are watching, at least partly, a generational shift in American politics. The idea was he was a transitional figure. And what we're seeing now is the transition is starting a lot faster than he would have hoped, but actually is starting at a time that many Americans want to see it happen. So we're seeing a shift in the political elite now on the Democratic side. We've seen a shift in the political elite on the Republican side. Indeed, the entire Republican convention was a reminder that this is not Ronald Reagan's party. So there's a new elite, a presidential political elite in the United States. What's going to be extremely interesting to see is whether the Democratic Party coalesces around Kamala Harris and whom she chooses to be part of her team, because together they will represent the new Democratic Party.
So, Tim, you're a historian. I have to ask you how you think Joe Biden will be judged by history, not just for his presidency, but for his decision.
Joe Biden will be remembered as the individual who beat Donald Trump in 2020 and stopped the Trump chaos, restored respect to American institutions abroad, restored American commitment to stability around the world, and who brought civility to the White House. Joe Biden took a decision that was difficult for him and represented giving away some power, not leaving office, but giving up power. And that is the hardest thing for a leader to do. He did it. He didn't do it as quickly as some wanted, but he did it nonetheless because he recognized that holding on to power would have imperiled what mattered most to him.
All right. Presidential historian Tim Naftali, thank you.
Thank you, Adrienne.